me just have a transition from what we discussed last week papunta dun sa discussion natin ngayon. So, we discussed last week na yung about sa enterprise architecture. The system components that may be found in an enterprise architecture, and also, napag-usapan natin yung different modules, yung common modules that may be found in an ERP system architecture. So we learned the different functions of different modules, kahit overview lang yon. And also, nakita natin yung tawag dito, yung benefits no of enterprise architecture to businesses. Ngayon, pag-uusapan naman natin ay yung other types of enterprise or ERP architecture. Kasi pinag-usapan natin nung nakaraan ay yung classification of ERP architecture, enterprise system architecture, yung logical and physical. That is a general classification of ERP architecture. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin ay yung mga specific types of ERP architecture. So, apat yung pag-uusapan natin today. The layered architecture, ERP architecture. Pangalawa, the web service architecture. The service-oriented architecture is the third one. And the last one is cloud architecture. So, madali lang naman sila pag iba-ibahin, do meron lang talaga mga terminologies that I struggled with kasi lalong-lalo na hindi ko naman major information technology. So what can I offer you is the its relationship to business setting, no? And also the application of the information system concept to business setting. Okay? So let's start. So let me first have the concept. Let's talk about first the briefly the ERP system architecture. So we all know already that the ERP system architecture enables us to translate the complex implementation of ERP system into into a blueprint. Tama, alam na natin 'yon. It is organized commonly in layers or tiers, sabi dito, to manage system complexity to provide scalability and flexibility. So commonly daw ang ERP system architecture is layered, no? It is organized in layers or yung tinatawag nating mga tiers for us to be able to para makita natin ng mas maayos yung buong system. And also, it enables us to manage the system complexity to provide scalability. Pag sinabing scalability, it's ability to be to be expanded. Pag sabi scalable, ibig sabihin itong bagay na to can be used into a larger or bigger environment. Let's say for example, if you want to go global from local, mag-global kayo. So you have to make sure your ERP system can also adapt to the changing size of the organization. And syempre flexibility. So it should be capable to be used in various environment or settings or industry kung sakali man. Kasi may mga company na from this industry biglang papasukin tong ibang industry. So dapat ang ERP system natin can also be flexible to such changes in the industry kung nasan man yung company. Okay? So one common type of layer architecture is at the three-layer architecture. So when we say three-layer architecture, from the concept itself, three-layer, it includes the three layers. So we have the web, the first layer. The second layer is the application, and the database is the third layer. This is the most prevalent type of architecture that's being used today. So ibig sabihin, ito yung common na ginagamit ngayon ng mga companies out there. So may tatlong layers dyan. So we have the web tier, the application tier, and the data tier. So web server, application server, and database server. So interchangeably naman yun. So tatlong layer. So how does that work? So there are three layers, sabi natin kanina. The first one is the web tier. So ano nakikita natin sa web tier? Sa web tier, nakikita natin dito ito yung pinakaunang part pinakaunang interface na nakikipag-interact sa atin as we use the ERP system. So by the time that you loaded the page of the ERP system that you're gonna use, then the first layer will be the web tier. This is the port. So from the time that you log in your credentials, doon na mag-insert yung web layer. Okay, hanggang sa makita mo yung kabuuan ng user interface or yung GUI ng ERP system na gagamitin mo. It's a web portal that allows users to access and analyze information through their web browser. Okay, so that's your web tier. Ang ibang tawag dito ay presentation layer because doon natin nakikita yung user interface. Ngayon, by the time that you started navigating through your web browser, tapos you started clicking on the modules inside the ERP system, that's the time that you are entering the application layer or the application tier. This tier is where data are entered and shared with other companies of the system. Ibig sabihin, once you start accessing a module and then maglalagay ka na ng data doon or magkukuha ka ng data, so gagamit ka ng modules. Yung modules na yon, simula sa modules, yon ay yung application layer. Okay? So this application tier, tawag dito, is consists of the functional modules that acts as the intermediary between the web tier and the data tier. So before you can access the database, you have to go through the application tier. So sa loob ng ERP system, there are several application depending dun sa sinusupport ng ERP system. Ngayon, bago ka makapunta sa data layer or sa database server or sa database layer, tawag dito, you have to go through the application tier. So si data tier naman, it is responsible for data management. It's focused on the structure of all organizational data and its relationship with internal and external system. So ngayon, this three-layer architecture can be shown in this type of in this framework. So this is the presentation layer. You started accessing say for example, the Oracle. Started accessing the Oracle through your web browser. So the first time, the portal wherein you're gonna enter your credentials ay yun na mismo yung web layer. So si web layer ay responsible in providing security as well. Ito yung parang tawag dito, the front door para ma-access mo yung ERP system. Okay? So it provides added security. Yes, pag login pa lang, doon na yung web tier ka agad. So mag-start na doon yung web tier. So pagka-load ng website, kunwari ganito. Yan. So pagka-load nito, yan, ni-load, di ba? So, ito kaagad, web tier na yan. So, once you start logging in, and then, pag nakapasok kayo kunwari, nakita niyo yung buong interface, yun pa din yung web tier. Pero, once you start clicking on the modules, yung mga modules doon, yun na ngayon yung application tier. Okay? Ngayon, inside the application tier, nandun ngayon yung database. Yung database ngayon, yun yung data layer. Okay, so through the application layer, you can access the data layer. Okay, so I hope you understand now the three-layer architecture. So mag-start to sa portal hanggang sa ma-access mo yung mga different modules, and then the data layer will be responsible for database management. If you want to pull out or enter or to store information or data, then dito yun sa data layer. Pero kailangan muna natin dumaan sa mga modules wherein we would want to put or store our data. Kunwari, yung data na yun is for finance module, then click on finance module, that is application layer. And then, once you decide to upload the data and store it in the database, so yung data na yun mapupunta sa data layer. Okay, so I hope you understand this. Let's have the web services architecture. Ngayon, si web services architecture, kaya siya sinunod. It is because the web services architecture it can sometimes be considered as the fourth tier. Okay? Where the web tier, yung web tier natin is split into web services tier and web browser tier. So anong pinagkaiba ng dalawang yon? When we say web browser, is the web browser, tama? Ito, nilagin ko to, yan, pasok tayo dito. Ito na yon. This is the web browser, tapos it lets you show the web page, tama? So this is your web browser, ito, ayan. And then, this is the web page. Ngayon, ano naman yung web services? Saan makikita yung web services? Sabi, once you press F12, lalabas yun. Dito sa babang to, nandito yung web services. Yan. So, yan pinagkaiba ng dalawa. So, sinasabi dito sa example ko dito, ay sa pinakamadaling definition dito. Yung web browser, it enables you to display data through the user interface. Okay? And then the web services provides the raw data, tingnan dito, through the application programming interface. Ito yon. Alam niyo na yun, API. Okay? So ngayon, ang importance nitong ay bakit natin siya kailangan malaman? Kasi kailangan niyo maintindihan na yung data na ginagamit natin in every platforms of the ERP system, kung saan siya man pwede gamitin, like cellphone man yan, o kaya sa, ang tawag dito, kung computer man yung gamit natin, or any other devices or platform, the data, isa lang yung pinanggalingan, pero yung manner ng pag-display ng data, pwedeng iba-iba. Okay? So that's the idea here. So ngayon, sa web, wait lang, text ko lang to, tapos present ko ulit. Yan. So the ERP system focus on the internet to provide powerful new functionality for internet-based access and integration. So example ng possible na gumagamit ng web services architecture din ay si Oracle, PeopleSoft, kasi nga web-based ang ERP system nila. So you don't need to install any other software or ayun nga tama, software sa infrastructure natin to run that specific ERP system. So you just need to go to your browser and then input the link and then log in your credentials. Ngayon, I have here, ito na yun, sinabi ko kanina. So through the web browser, you can input the link and then tapos lalabas na yung ERP system. Tapos, internet access technologies primarily support this functionality. So, una, web server, alam na natin to. ERP portal, alam na natin. And then, the backend server integration, how does that work? So, sa web services architecture, there is what we call as backend server integration. So, pag sinabi nating backend server integration, let us learn first what is a front end, no, para makita natin yung pinagkaiba. So, pag sinabing front-end integration, server integration, ito yung mga computers that can access the systems, no? Or the system. So ngayon, bago nila ma-access yung different applications in the system, they have to go through a middleware software. Diba sabi natin pag middleware software, it enables other applications to be integrated smoothly and seamlessly. Diba? So pag na-access mo yung software, in middleware software, ma-access mo tong application A, B, C, and D. Okay? So it's a two-way communication. Dadaan mo na siya dito, then the middleware will be communicating to the application, and then for you to be able to get the data that you want, the application B will be communicating with the middleware software and then translate it to your needs, based on your needs. Ngayon, in a back-end server integration, it says something like this. So one computer can only be able to access one application at a time. Okay? And then, sa background processes nangyayari yung middleware integration software. Yung middleware integration. Okay, so paano yung nangyayari yon? So kunwari, ito yung PC natin. Access natin yung application. And then yung data that is being ini-input natin sa application A, magsasama-sama sila through the middleware software integration. Kasi ito naman, kung gagamit ka ng application B, ganun din. Iisa lang din yung magiging database nila because they are integrated. So unlike dito, you can access all of them in one through the middleware and integration software. Dito naman iba. You can only access one application at a time. Ngayon, if you want to access application B, you have to close application A to access application B. Pero the database ay nasa isang central repository. Yung data nyo ay nasa isang central repository. So ganun ang tawag dito sa web service architecture, ganun yung ginagamit natin. Ngayon, there's also what we call as browser plugins or applets. Ngayon, itong browser plugins ay tinatawag ding applets. Pag sinabing applets, ang ibig sabihin nito ay mini applications inside the application. So sa isang application daw, sa loob nun, pwedeng merong mga mini applications. So ang hirap niya imagine, tama? So I have here an example. So this is a demo applet from Oracle. Ayan. So sa loob ng Oracle, minsan, mayroon ditong mga, excuse me, mga mini application that execute different functions. Kunwari, sa amin dati, hindi ko kasi mabigay example eh. Dito, kunwari, meron doon isang ikiklik ka lang na icon, which is also an applet, na kapag kinlik mo yon, it will generate automatically the report for you sa kung ano yung format na prescribed ng school. So, mas madali. So, ganun din yung mga applets na to. So, kunwari, if you want to generate a bar chart from the data, so click mo lang yan, and then lalabas yun. Kaso hindi supported yung browser ko at yung laptop ko siguro. So, ayan, kaya hindi ko ma-generate. Pero that's an example on an applet. Yung mga nakikita niyong mga ganon, na mga buttons sa loob ng isang application sa ERP system, so those are applets. And those are executable in a web services architecture. Okay? So yon. So I have here a framework that it is not that cannot be easily understood. Dito yung kasing nasa module nyo, ayoko naman tanggalin, no? Pero upon researching a lot, no, ang nangyari pala dito is that you're gonna access the ERP system through the web browser, so through an HTTP, and then pabalik HTML yung makikita nyo na, tama? Kung ano man, nakalimutan ko, hypertext T protocol ata to. Aywan ko kung ano yung T. And then, kung ano man yan, language ba yun? Bahala na, basta yun. Transfer, basta yun. Basta alam nyo na yan. And then dito sa network natin, then the legacy system will all be accessing the web server. Okay? Sa ang unang layer diyan ay yung Java enabled web server muna. Ang inyong unang layer nyo na ma-access. Ngayon, through the web layer na yan, can be able to access several servers inside. And that includes the database management system server. And then, the directory server includes the list of individuals that can access only the whole enterprise system. So itong ISIS web server, I don't know what that is already. Nung na-research ko to, ang lumabas ay integrated system to integrated system web server. Basta this is the whole web server, and ang hirap niya intindihan for me. Pero, I have something you can understand better. So, yan. So, this is how a web services, web service architecture works. So, you're gonna access your web browser that you're using to access the ERP system. Then your operating system will be requesting a response from the server din nung gagamitin yung ERP system. Let's say, for example, ito. And then this will respond through the database. Tapos kung ano yung ni-request nyo, yun yung ilalabas niya through the HTML. Hypertext Markup Language. Yan. So ngayon, yan yung sa UI yung makita natin dito. Okay, kung pagpasok pa lang natin. Kung ano yung nakita nyo pag login nyo or pag load ng web page, yun. Pero kapag web services ang titingnan natin, pareho pa din. Yun nga lang, JavaScript object material, yung JSON na tinatawag, which is this one. Hindi naman JSON yung nakalagay. Ang sabi doon sa example, yung naandito, JSON. Yan, edit daw to eh. Yan, depende kung anong gusto mong mangyari. Pero the data here remains the same kahit anong platform po yan, kahit anong device mo mag-request dito. Kunwari, weather data. Ayan, ito yung example ko. Kunwari, this is the weather application or widget. Ngayon, let's say for example, ang ginagamit ko kasing application ay Windy. Yung Windy na app. Ngayon, yung Windy na app ngayon, I can also access that in my browser. Yan, pwede pa rin. Tinan nyo, type natin. Windy. Windy.com ata. Yan. So, this is, ayun yung bagyo. Yung maganda dito yung bagyo. Kita natin dito, rain and thunder. Ayan, so yung lahat ng may blue maulan. Galing, no? Ernie, But anyway, so ayan. Ito ngayon, ang tawag natin dito ay user interface na nakikita natin through the web browser. Tama? Ito ngayon web page that shows the weather data. Okay? So ngayon, meron kasing application si Windy para sa phone. Yung data na ginagamit natin dito para mag-load yung itong nakikita natin dito ay kapareho ng nilululat natin dito through the web services. Yun yung ibig sabihin. So ngayon, sa isang ng framework, pareho lang yung process, pero nag-iiba lang siya, ay pareho lang din yung awal dito. Yung web services na nagagamit natin para sa data. Iba lang yung platform. So kunwari, kapag cellphone, iba yung tsura, kapag iba yung tablet, iba yung tsura. Kapag laptop at web browser ang gamit nyo, iba rin yung itsura. Pero yung data is still the same. So may ERP system na gano'n, you can access the ERP system through various platforms. The data won't be compromised. Pareho na data yung makuha natin. Yung naalala, pag sa user interface, magkakaiba. Okay, kaya naisip yung web year into two. Kaya kinakonsider siya as the fourth year. Kasi ika-apat year yung web services. Nakuha ba? So hindi kasi nasasabi yung web services alone is the whole ERP system. Kasi nasasabi lang dito kapag web services architecture, kasama siya as a layer to be considered in the three-layer architecture. Nakuha? Clear ba? Malinaw ba ang explanation ko? Paano? Clear question? Okay. So, malinaw. So, let's continue. So, ngayon, ayun yung layer architecture. So, madami na siya, madami. Layer architecture. So, ang kagandahan pag magamit layer architecture is that those functional layers we're allowed to change whenever our technologies. Kung lalo na technological advancement in concerning ERP system or program, so pwede natin baguhin yung isang layer. Pwede natin baguhin yung buong system, pero we can update one layer at a time. Let's say, for example, we're gonna update hardware. So, ito yung layer lang yung babaguhin still. Yung architecture ay the same, the hardware lang mag-update. If you na dito ko may mag-i-engage tayo na capacity pagdating sa database natin. Ito lang yung mababago, tapos lahat doon will remain flat. So, gawin na yun ang concept layering. Para siyang Jenga, diba? Kung mayroon siyang mga tawag dito, yung mga holders or layers in the ERP system. So, if there's na naririnig, dalitan natin and then papalitan natin or i-upgrade natin yung layer without compromising or changing the whole system. Okay? So, another type of architecture is SOA. So, si SOA is also known as the Object-Oriented Architecture. We're in SOA. So, yung isang business year or business year application ay binibreak down into smaller distinct units of services. The other way around. Pwedeng yung distinct units of services can be combined together to form an application. So, an example of that is ito kasi yung SOA. Now, technically, the service-oriented architecture acts as the middleware tool ng mga iba't-ibang applications that we are using in managing information. So, again, natin. Si SOA daw, ang ginagawa niya that we nag-aaga siya as middleware tool para ma-combine tong tatlong applications na to para siyang integrator. Parang ginagamit siya for integration. Pero meron siya specific function that makes it different from the other middleware tools. So si SOA ang ginagawa niyan, kahit na magkaiba ang language nung meron ba ako nilagay dito? Yan, kahit na magkaiba ang language na ginagamit ng mga applications, pwede niya makapag-create ng universal language para itong mga applications na to can work together. So, ano ang example? Ano ba mga alam programming language? Python, Java, tapos dito, kunwari, .NET na namin na programming language. So, ito ang mga applications na to, they both use different, they are using different languages. So, how SOA acts as the middleware tool that can help this application to work together seamlessly. So si SOA ay gumagawa ng universal language para dito sa tatlong to at magkaintindihan sila. Example, meron nakakatawang example dito eh. Yan. So, mamaya, balikan natin yung iniskipan kong slide. Sabi noon yung tao, "Hi, I come in peace." Yan. Tapos, sabi naman ng alien, syempre di nyo naiintindihan paano yung sinasabi, di ba? So, sabi ng alien, ano yung pagkain, di ba? So, food. Ngayon, let's say na merong advanced communication technology, and that is your SOA. Ito yung SOA. This represents the SOA, Advanced Communication Technology, na na-translate yung sinabi ni human at nung language ni alien, ito yung universal language para magkaintindihan sila. Ngayon, because of advanced technology, thankfully, yan, naintindihan ni alien yung sinasabi ng tao. Hindi pala siya kumakaway, "Hoy, kainin mo ako," di ba? Ang gusto pala niyang sabihin ay lang. So, yun, nagkaintindihan sila. Ganun yung gamit ng SOA. Okay, so napakadali, di ba? So it also allows message interaction between any service consumer and service provider. So this is the framework. So pag sinabi service consumer, hindi yung magpe-penpal sila ni service provider, di ganun. Okay, hindi ganun yung ibig sabihin nito. Ibig sabihin nito, whenever service consumer access the system, so syempre, meron yung service request. Magpo-pull out ng report. Syempre, hindi naman yung ganun kabagal na parang Jollibee o McDo, mag-antay ka pa kapag walang Chicken Joy ng 15 minutes. Instantaneous naman yung nangyayari. Yun nga lang, pinapakita lang dito na pag nag-request si service consumer ng report, kasi for example, nag-navigate dun sa ERP system, nag-generate ng report, that is a service request already. Now, in response, the SOA will provide a service response, ma-generate yung report. Ngayon, ang tanong, what if nag-down yung service na ina-access ni service consumer? What will happen to the whole ERP system? Ang sagot, pag nag-down yung isang services, yung isang service lang na yun yung magda-down. Yung other applications or services in the service-oriented architecture won't be affected. Okay? Kasi si SOA na yung humaharang dun sa kunwari ito nagka-problema. So, technically, kung isipin natin, nagka-problema isang application in the ERP system, magkakaroon ng system down. Hindi. Yung isa lang na yun yung magkakaproblema, pero the other applications and services will still be working. So, yun yung kagandahan ng service-oriented architecture. So, kahit na may hindi kagaya ng Oracle, kunwari, nag-down yung Oracle PeopleSoft, hindi mo magagamit yung system kasi naka-down nga. Naranasan na namin yung dati, hindi kami makapag-encode, makapag-generate ng grades because naka-down ng isang araw yung Oracle. So, it causes delay dun sa operation. So, unlike service-oriented architecture, so kahit may mag-down na isang services, other services can still be or can still remain functionable or functioning. Okay? So, do you understand SOA already because of this? So, thankfully, no, dahil dyan, naintindihan natin siya. So, yun. So, SOA is a software development model based on a contract between a consumer, syempre, and a provider that specifies the following. So, in the contract daw, what's in the contract is ito. The functional description of the service ng SOA, the input requirements and the output specification. When say input requirements, ito na yung mga required na yung mga when say input requirements, the services to be included in the or to be integrated through the system, through the SOA, may input requirements yun. And also, yung mga software infrastructure natin are also input requirements and even the operating system. The output specification, ito na yung tawag dito, desired natin na kalalabasan or impact nung paggamit ng SOA dun sa operations natin. And then the precondition environment state, the precondition environment state before service can be invoked. Ibig sabihin, yung current situation ng company before using SOA and the expected condition right after using SOA. And then also, it also includes the error handling when there is a breakdown. So, anong gagawin ni provider if in case there's a problem in the software development model? Okay, so yun yung laman ng SOA, contract ng SOA. So, if you have any questions about the three-layer architecture, the web services architecture, and the service-oriented architecture. Ayan, ang hirap niyan para sa akin kasi nga feeling ko IT ako ngayon. Yes, Margarita. Clemente, Marga. Ano yun? Ano nga po ulit ang web services? Si web services ay tinuturing na fourth tier. Kasi nga, that is also, dinivide kasi yung web tier into two. The web browser tier and the web services tier. Pag sinabi nating web browser tier, yun yung ang nakikita natin doon mismo ay yung user interface. While in the web services tier, makikita natin doon yung API, the application programming interface, wherein we can get the raw data. Okay? So yung web services tier enables us to use the data in any other platforms. Kahit pa cellphone yan, tablets man yan, or any other devices na pwedeng pag-pull out, pag-executionan nung ERP system natin. The data or the displayed data or the user interface may be different, pero the data that are being used in that system will always be the same. And that is because of the web services here. Okay? So yun. So I hope that's clear. So meron ba bang question before we have your inaantabayan ng break time? May tanong ba?
領域展開